So when I first sit down, just because of the condensed angle under here, I always do a little practice to make sure I can get full access to the movement that I need. So I can. I've also adjusted the spring a bit in here, extended it, because it was way too difficult. You could see if I really push, it would lift the machine. So I just put a little wire to reduce the power on the spring a bit, just so it didn't hurt my leg so much. Because of the weight of the bar down below, there's no problem with it springing back. So let's bring up the bobbin thread. So this is a full rotary hook gear driven machine. So the one thing you'll find is that the gears are quite noisy on this compared to my 411G. But with the padding underneath, it's not quite so bad now. So you see it takes a bit to wind up to full speed, but I've got it limited as well, so it won't go as fast as it would, just while I'm practicing and getting my techniques going. Let's zoom in a bit. It's better. I'm just doing a fill stitch at the moment, practicing. Dropping the odd stitch at the moment, so I'll have to inspect and see if it's a thread feeding issue or if it's just the needle size or something else. I've switched the needle for 11, but sometimes it acts up a bit. But as I said, I've got to get everything. I'll increase the tension and see if that helps a bit. And then we'll do some... And one thing about doing this, the motor does get hot pretty quickly. The foot controller doesn't, because I'm using full speed. And I've got a limiter on it, so I don't have to abuse the foot pedal so much. Snows very well, I'm pleased to say, now that I've got it mostly adjusted. Normally, you know, when you get a brand new machine, most of my machines are vintage, so they've been well used, which means you don't have to break them in, which is kind of nice. Travel quite effectively. Oops, broke thread. But as you can see, it works. So I'm just getting the hang of this. I'm not, an expert by any stretch. Oops, just practicing. And on the back, you can see the balance is as you expect it to be. You can see the bobbin thread there. So it's pulling the thread to the back as you would expect. So I'm pleased with that. Normally wouldn't do that for lace, but I wanted to just see how well it would cope with the very, very fine bobbin weight thread in the bobbin, and it's now adjusted right, so we're getting very good quality stitching. Zoom back out so it makes it a little easier. Oops, that's in. So you see, just playing around, drawing leaves and flowers and stuff, so it's not bad. Got a bit of practicing to do to get super, good at getting perfectly controlled. That's what I have to practice on now. And to be honest, it's easy on net, easier than on fabric. That's why you probably see all the fancy stuff being done on net, because it really does. It's quite easy to do. So that's good and fairly reasonably tight. Just go around and then one thing is nice about this is that the foot is high, so it's easy to slip a hoop underneath. So that makes it a lot easier to manage. Actually, I just realized something very stupid. I actually thought that was up there. This part was here for the bobbin winder, but this machine doesn't have one. So that must be to help control the thread a bit better. That makes a lot of sense, just me being dumb. Because I know the Juki has a similar type mechanism where you put it through a pre-tensioner to get rid of any curlies in the thread, which generally cause those problems of thread breakage and stuff. So there we go. As you can see, this thread is remarkably easy to break because it's embroidery thread, which is not strong. Through there. Okay, snip, and then so the smallest needles I have for this are 11s. because it takes a DX5 or 135 type needle, which is an industrial sewing machine needle. So let's try, let's see. See how this goes. So what I'm going to do is just try and do a straight line down the middle. Oops, straight would be good. You can hear there's quite a lot of bobbin noise from this machine. Here's a zigzag going backwards. So what I'll do is I'll turn this up to full speed and then you can see the difference. Broke the thread. Sat too long in a single spot. That's it, it goes fast, which is fine. It's like my Juki, it goes super fast. Okay, well, do this again. I'll try and do better demonstration. But you can see why I don't have it up full tilt. I'm not ready for that yet. Takes time. Just need a snip. Okay, off we go again. Try and accelerate a little bit more sensitively. Broke the thread again. For the thread to go through. I've run out of bobbin thread. I have indeed. Anyway, that's an okay, off we go again. puts down. You can hear much noisier this is than ignoring my feet kicking the things against the wall. Try and move this out of the way so it's not interfering. Oh, you can see the foot controller just on the edge of the screen. If I do this a little more, you can see two things happening. You can get a good speed going. You can hear the gears going. That's why I find it so noisy about this one. You can't hear the gears really at all on my 401G, or hardly at all. This is definitely a bit of a noisy beast. But it works very well, so can't complain about that. And it's got a lovely wide stitch, which is in the knee control, which is what I needed. It might be fun to see if I can do that rope look. That's where you do like a stem stitch, I suppose, as well. I think how you do it is like this. Make it more angular as well if you really want. Get like a wheat stitch or something. And travel down. And then what we can do is do a bit of a leaf. Only my 411G had this knee controller. It would be so nice and quiet in comparison. Because it is so noisy compared to what I'm used to. I mean, it sews very well, but it is a noisy beast. leaf, I think, for fun. So we'll spin this and do the other direction this time. And of course you can still do these. Okay. Oh, it works very well. I just need to keep practicing till I'm ready for my first major project. I'm actually liking this more on the Treadle. It's easier to control. Not as fast, certainly, but as I hoped, more pleasant on the Treadle.